How can you fix your credit score so you don't get trouble 10 years later?
Yeah, so that's a lot of what I do these days is help people, clean up past mistakes and then improve it going forward. Okay, so to clean up things that happened in the past, if you think that it's wrong, if you think that it was misreported, you can actually go back to the lender that has made that mark on your credit score, and you can do what's called raise a dispute, where you can say, I dispute that that was a trade line. I do not believe that I took a loan at that time. And normally, a lender in that situation will do their best to reverse it, especially if you threaten to go on social media and things like that. So be very vocal in correcting any of those mistakes.
And how long do you have before the mistake? You have to keep checking.
I would say genuinely it's very hard after a year, because what happens is then the lender's done their kind of accounting, right? At the end of the year, it's very hard for them to go back.
It's gone into
it could have
solidified
gone into,
in a way.
Correct, exactly.
Your
So
bad score is kind of written in stone.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say always check, at least every 6 months. If you can check every 3 months, that's even better. Nothing wrong with being on top of it. And there will also be scenarios where a fraudster has actually taken ID in your name and taken out a loan, on your behalf. These scenarios are rare, thankfully, but they happen. And that's another reason, even if you think you're not borrowing,
right,
it's important to check your credit score frequently. And again, in that situation, you would raise a dispute. If you think that there has been a loan made in your name, you might get clues, you might get SMSs, you might get a random email that you weren't expecting. But generally you won't know, to be honest, because they may have given a fake contact number, but they've used your KYC. These are very real scenarios. So always keep on top of your credit score. Keep checking your consumer report. The consumer report is fantastic. It has a lot of information. It will tell you the name of the lender of record, so exactly who is the legal entity that has given you a loan. It will have all the information about the loan on the report. So you can take that report and go back to the lender and say, this is a fraud or this is a mistake, please fix it. In the case where you made the mistake, unfortunately, it's not so easy. The lender will probably have evidence that you were paying late, you did get into trouble, and there's really no way they can correct your mistakes. That's a really clear distinction. So you can only raise disputes when you have evidence that this was a fraud. In cases where you've messed up, I'm afraid you're on your own. So that's why it's so important not to make mistakes. However, it's not irreversible. There's lots of steps anybody can take to improve their credit score going forward. And I talk about this a lot, I write about this a lot, but again, it's back to using credit intelligently for you. So it's tricks like taking out a fresh credit card with a fresh limit, but only spending a very small portion of that. It's quite hard to get your score to go up. It's hard work. There's a lot of things you have to do, and I'll give some clues. But it's very easy to drag it down again. It's exactly like a computer game.
It's snakes and ladders.
It is, it's snakes and ladders. And everybody wants to pull you down, but no one wants to push you up, right? The goal is to get above 750 as quickly as possible.
That's a great line, though.
Yeah.
Improving your credit score is exactly like snakes and ladders.
Exactly.
It's very hard to go up the ladder, but one slip and you're back down.
Literally. Exactly right. Exactly right. So you'll probably start life on a small credit, let's say a 50K credit card, 30K, 50K credit card, maybe an EMI. A lot of people start with like a phone loan from a MBFC in a shop, even a two-wheeler loan. This is a very common starting point today. So the typical first loan for somebody is around like 30 to 50K. That's the norm in this country. And that
could be on an app as well? No.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of Zest customers came in at that level. About 40% of our customers at Zest took their first loan with us, and it was in that kind of ballpark. And most people will take a loan, either a credit card that they repay every month, or an EMI that lasts, say, 6, 9, or 12 months, such that their repayments every month are maybe like $3,000 or $4,000. That's kind of a sweet spot as well. That's where most people feel comfortable. Now, if you do that successfully, let's say for 6 months, you repay on time, every time, no mistakes, no late payment fees, no phone call from the bank, just pay on time, probably your credit score will come in around 700. Yay! And that's great. That's good news. Now, you really want to get it above that. If you get into the 800 territory, the world becomes very exciting. I'll tell you why. But how do you get there? First of all, I'm afraid you have to take out a couple of loans. So one trade loan.
Don't be afraid. That's
right.
A positive.
It's a positive.
I want the money.
Done responsibly. So maybe add another credit card. Again, keep within the limits we already talked about. Make sure your total outgoings are still below 30%. Maybe take out a loan that's going to improve your future life. So a very common type of loan that people take today in that age group is to do, say, an online course. So an education loan to improve your earning potential. Let's say you're in digital marketing. You could take a course in Canva or AI design, I don't know. And that might lead to an increase in your future salary. That's a great reason to add on another loan. And again, if you pay that on time every month, what you've shown the credit bureau is, I can handle a slightly more complex situation. I can handle having 2 outstanding loans at one time. I can budget in my head and make sure I pay both of them even on different dates.
They know that you have 2 loans.
Absolutely.
And they give you a benefit based on 2 loans.
100%. They give you a significant benefit.
A complexity benefit.
Exactly.
A complexity
bonus.
He's
on top of this stuff. This
right.
guy is on top of it.
Right.
He knows what he's doing. He's not a complete mess,
Wow.
right? And that's exactly how the credit score works. The next layer, this is when we start going into the really, and I'll just say, I'm at nearly 900, so I know what I'm talking about. To get to 900,
you better be.
You have to start doing some of the things.
You help build the system.
Correct. I know the system, so I play the system.
And that's what we need today. We need your advice on how to game it.
That's really important. So top tricks to get to my level in the game of credit. Top tricks. Number 1 is keep well below your credit limit. Okay. So again, this is that concept of utilization. Even if the world is happy to give you lakhs and lakhs and lakhs, keep it well below that 30%, maybe below 20% even. So if you always have a much lower utilization of the credit that people have given you, they will keep pushing you up, because that shows another dimension to your behavior. You're not just predictable, reliable, you're also very good at self-control. That's excellent, okay?
So they're actually doing a behavior analysis of you, basically. It's all behavior. It's all emotion, ultimately.
It is. I say, when I used to hire people in Zest to work in that team, I'd say you're a psychologist. You're here to assess human behavior, psychology, emotion, and that's really the secret of lending. The best banks, the best lenders understand human psychology. One more really important thing on the credit score, and a lot of people are not aware of this. One absolute way to damage your credit score is what's called an inquiry. This is when you willy-nilly apply for loans across maybe more than one lender. Let's say you say, this morning I'm going to try my luck. What new credit cards can I get? And you go into a bunch of applications, maybe through one of these websites like Pesa Bazaar or Bank Bazaar, who try and match you to different offers. Every time you make that application, that lender is pinging the bureau. They're leaving a mark on your credit score. And we've seen examples where somebody's lost 100 points because they just made a bunch of inquiries. And they say, I didn't mean to. It's like, pressing that button on the metro or something. Like, don't do it. Just control yourself. If you need a new credit line, if you want to take a new credit card, do the research first. Be sure about which one will approve you and go only for that one. Do not make multiple
Don't window shop.
No. Very important. Right. A lot of people...
Or window shop, but don't enter the shop.
Don't enter the shop. Don't give them your KYC. Very important.
Right.
Exactly. So you can get to the inquiry point. You can discuss offers. You can research offers. The minute you submit KYC, there is a mark going on the bureau score. So that's a really key point. Why is mine 900? Because I don't do any inquiries anymore. I do my research beforehand. And then I guess one final point on that is obvious, but the surefire way to always get approved is to have a high credit score. So it's better to do all this boring stuff, control yourself for a number of years, get your score above 750. When you're above 750, you're considered prime. Those are the people who will get all the offers. You will almost always get approved. The only reason you would not get approved if your credit score is above 750 is because either you're currently out of work, so they can't see any income coming into the system, or maybe you've taken out too many other loans and your outstanding is higher than your income.